Hi everyone, it's Lynn. So I'm going to make a really cute Halloween craft using these pieces of driftwood. And the first thing that I did with them was paint them. And I used a lot of water with this paint. I kind of wanted it more to be like a wash instead of full coverage. So I did the first long one with some antique wax. And then I painted another one orange. I did one white and I did one green. And I just kept dipping my paintbrush into water as I did this. And I painted the entire piece, the front, the back, and the sides. Then I did wipe each one down with a paper towel. Because like I said, I wanted to keep it more like a wash. And I got these at a thrift store, and the box that they were in said it was vase filler. But if you can't find that, I think you can probably do this with shims, maybe cut them to different sizes and leave them a little bit jagged on one end. Once they were completely dry, I made some faces on them. And I started off with a Sharpie, and I made the green one into a monster, so I did a little jagged hairline, and I started coloring it in, but the Sharpie wouldn't fit in between those grooves. So I did end up using paint instead with a pretty thin paintbrush. And for this, I did do the sides of it as well, and then the top and the back. And I had to let that paint dry before I started that face, so I moved on to the ghost. And again, I did start with the Sharpie, and again, soon realized that it wasn't going to fit in those grooves, so I went on to the paintbrush. And I just made 2 circles for the eyes, and then I did move on to the pumpkin and gave him 2 triangles for eyes and a little square nose. And I tried to give him kind of a jagged mouth. It didn't really work out that great, but he still looks cute. But once I finished doing it, then I went over to the monster and just gave him 2 kind of teardrop eyes and a jagged mouth. And then on all 3 of them, I did give them kind of like a mean eyebrow, so they looked a little bit spooky. And I went back and did give the ghost a little mouth. And they're super cute. So the next thing I did once they were completely dry was glue them to the longer piece of driftwood. And I did the ghost and the monster first on the 2 ends. And once they were on there, I did flip it over and add some hot glue to the back just for extra hold. And then I put the pumpkin in the center. And just as a finishing touch, I added some moss at the bottom. This is not Spanish moss. This is called sisal moss that I did get from Amazon. And it's kind of bleached. It almost looks like hay. So once I had it on there, I trimmed it up a little bit so it wasn't totally out of control. You want it to look a little bit wiry, but you don't want it to overpower the project. So I added some here and there, trimmed it up, and I think it turned out great. I love this project. It's spooky, but still cute. And I hope you like it too, and I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.